Where prior Lunatic Soul albums required a little bit more patience of the listener, Fractured is much more immediately accessible and is very, very rewarding in the end. Let's dive in and check this album out.
You can say that I'm chasing something that is unattainable, so you know my way to survive. You can say that I'm surrounded by the ruins of my previous life, but I am not a prisoner.
Fractured by Lunatic Soul is the 5th studio album from the group and was released in October of 2017. The journey towards Fractured has always been a splintered and shattering, as the name suggests, for frontman of Riverside, Mariusz Duda, not only dealing with the tragic death of his guitarist and bandmate Piotr Grudiński, I hope I didn't screw that up too bad, and of course of his father as well. The album kicks off with a song called Blood on the Tightrope, and this is one of my personal favorites of the album. It is probably the most gripping Lunatic Soul opener yet. I feel like it also could maybe have been on Riverside Shrine of the New Generation Slaves as well. It has a kind of a feel for that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that's kind of how I think of it. You know, as it goes, this song has a lot of background chants, a lot of synth oscillations, some power chords, acoustic guitar, and of course Duda's trademark bass line, making this an ever-changing emotional marvel. It's very complex, this song, and wow, when I first heard it, it blew me away. Just thinking, how can one man produce such a great song? You know, naturally, it introduces a very hypnotic bridge halfway through that fits perfectly with the rest of the music and heightens in its catchiness as the concluding madness unfolds. All in all, it is a powerful opener that exemplifies what makes Lunatic Soul so special. The next song is a song called Anymore, and this is probably the most straightforward and sparse track on the album. The heartfelt words seem like a quest for the singer to his father, you know, asking him to see what he has become and what he achieved and shared over an eerie and kind of an Arabic sound is how I would say it, and what it kind of reminds me of. It's a very earnest, honest, and moving song. Alright, following Anymore, we have a song called Crumbling Teeth and the Owl's Eyes. This is again as a very personal outlook where the narrator, or as in this case Mariusz Duda, is clinging to their child to help them get through their pain. It is undoubtedly among the most beautiful haunting pieces that Duda has ever crafted, with or without Riverside. And like many of his best songs, this one is the way that the vocals and instrumentation dance around each other with an ingenious elegance and precision that makes it very remarkable. The music is quite theatrical in this song too, and again, this is one of the best songs on the album. Following Crumbling Teeth and Owl Eyes is a song called Red Light Escape. This is another one of the stripped back pieces. It's a little more warmer in the tone sense, and it's got some very nice gentle acoustic strummed guitar throughout. Honestly, Duda to me has never sounded more grief-stricken and fragile than he does on this song, and it is truly awe-inspiring how his anguish is enveloped by the swelling musical purification of this song and this whole album. Actually, it's, you know, sometimes I guess tragedy in our lives really brings on the inspiration, and you can really hear it on this song and most of this album too. Following Red Light Escape is the title track of Fractured. This song feels like a mixture of Riverside, The Pineapple Thief, and Anathema, and how it merges chants, complex indigenous rhythms with aggressive declarations and electronic elements. It feels a little bit off to me on this album. I would have to say it's probably my least favorite on the album, but that's just me. I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions, but I would say it is probably the weakest on the album. Now, coming up after Fractured is my favorite song on the album, and it is called 1,000 Shards of Heaven. This ballad-like song is so emotional, and that's just to say the least. I mean, nobody can really experience this song and how it made me feel unless they feel it for themselves. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to give too much away. I think if you guys were to listen to any Lunatic Soul song, make sure you listen to this one, because it's probably, especially the first 4.5 minutes, is probably the most emotionally beautiful song I've ever heard. It's quite a bit on the sad song, and it's all about, trying to live through the grief of losing somebody, and I can certainly relate to that in my personal life as well. Alright, coming up after 1,000 Shards of Heaven is a song called Battlefield. And this is a purposely cold and eerie song with a collage of ghostly layers working together to create a very unsettled, tense buildup of beats, loops, and synths. And it's arguably Duda's best vocal performance on the album. And I'm going to agree that that is a true statement. That's how I definitely feel. There's something about the way he perfects his vocal in this song, and it's got to be one heard to understand what I'm getting at. Alright, the last song is a song called Moving On, and this is a relatively inspiring but buoyant journey that kind of recalls Love, Fear and Time Machine. It's not the best selection in the sequence for sure, but it's still a really strong entry at that. It's probably the second weakest song on the album, but it does capture that notion of coming back to life after a personal tragedy very well. I really enjoyed this album, and I wasn't expecting it from somebody who has given us some of the most captivating progressive music coming from Europe. It's quite a brave experiment and quite a brave work. The lyrics are very personal and can be seen in the context of sort of a cleansing, a purging of the mind and spirit. I found the album at times fascinating, captivating, and very compelling. Hey guys, welcome back. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of the physical copy of the album. Sorry about the glare. Overall, Fractured is easily the best Lunatic Soul album and is consistently engaging musically and emotionally. This is an album I would recommend, and it was probably my favorite album of 2017. Check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed. Thanks.